you can feel something shifting, you're not imagining it. 2026 is one of the most transformative years of the decade, and I want you to be able to take full advantage of it. That's why I'm hosting a live 2026 astrology forecast on January 8th. We're going to break down the biggest planetary shifts and themes of the year and how they'll affect your chart, so you can move into the year with clarity instead of confusion, faith instead of fear, and obviously a whole lot of cosmic sparkle. Head to cosmicrx.com to join us. Hello, my loves, and welcome to a very special episode of Cosmic RX Radio. Today, the sky is giving power to the people, truth serum, pressure release, and also a very, what I hope is gentle but firm reminder that rest is productive. It's not quitting. It's not failing. It is actually a recalibration needed for you to align with your highest and hottest self. And if you're new here, welcome to Cosmic RX Radio, a podcast that gives you real-life tools of spiritual empowerment and pure hype. I'm your host and intuitive guide, MADI Murphy. I'll be serving up your weekly energy readings, cosmic boss interviews, and astro inspiration. Are you ready to love yourself more, manifest your dream life, and own your magic? Let's jump in. Hello, I'm Maddie Murphy. I'm a professional astrologer. I'm a mama. I'm an intuitive. I am an author, entrepreneur, and bad bitch with a good heart. And basically your resident reminder that you are not here. Struggle is not the strategy, okay? We are all about that alignment, baby. Living in alignment with our cosmic assignment, okay? So if you're a regular, welcome. Wait, welcome back. Okay, I'm going to also tell everyone I already recorded this, and I got to keep checking my mic. My mic was not on. So she's a little delirious, okay? Which is a nice segue into my announcement. So if you've been here for a minute, if you are a cosmic baddie, whether day one, OG, original goddess, or a cosmic cutie who joined us recently, you know by now we don't do hustle culture, okay, honey? We do not sweat it out. We're not to that hashtag boss babe life. 2016 is trending on Instagram, but it is not trending in our nervous systems. Okay, we are all about ease. We are about allowing. We are about having our body calm and our dreams big and our booty juicy. So before we get into the astrology, I wanted to share that I'm going to be taking a break from releasing these Monday episodes until Aries season. So that will be leading into the spring equinox, March 20th, whatever that Monday is before that. So just so you know, this is not disappearing. This is not abandoning you. I know shit is getting real out there. The shift is getting real. I'm just intentionally taking time to rest and fill my cups. And I'm not my cups. I said that like my bra cups. I am going to tell you, I'm not going to leave you empty-handed, empty-hearted. I'll get to that in a moment. But just for a little context, in general, we're headed into eclipse season. We're headed into Mercury retrograde. It's a time of year. I always kind of use Aquarius, Pisces time to go inward. It is the most, I think, supernatural, ephemeral time of the year. And as some of you know who have been here for a minute, I lost my mom last Aquarius season on February 10th. She is an Aquarius. And I also, had a baby in December 2024, a baby in November 2023, had my book come out this past July, and I've been in that really fun, exciting outward energy. But I also know I have to be honest with myself that I'm like, Maddie, you really didn't even you still need to take more time to grieve, to sit, to integrate, and also to show up, right, with that place of fullness for you, my community members. I never want to not practice what I preach or what I post or what I podcast about. I really want to lead with integrity. And I know that sometimes, especially what's cooking right now, I'm feeling called to go inward. And I got a really, really cool download when I got to go to the Kripalu. I led a retreat there. So I was busy, I was on, so I didn't get as much stillness as I would have liked. But even just being there in the mountains, out of the normal routine, I had a download that shook me. It rocked me. It socked me. It got me so excited for where we're headed as a collective. And so I want to have more space for that, more space for myself. And we will be doing no podcast, but I do have a special little offering during that time that I'll get into in a moment. But yeah, this past year, it's been life, right? It's Glennon Doyle's word, brutal, beautiful, sacred, intense, right? Like, just full of life. And I want to take some time to digest that. And for all of you, I recommend, like, this is one of the ways that we walk through real life. It's not always about just powering through, right? Powering on to the next thing. And we're going to be coming in with the bad bitch energy on 1000 this Aries season. I mean, this is sacred party girl year. So this Aries season is going to be poppin', crack a lackin'. So yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to be coming back, hopefully fired up, extra fire, extra glitter, extra whimsy, a little bit of whoop ass. While I'm in that space of resting, I'm going to leave you with an eclipse episode that's going to help you really lock in what you need to know for the solar eclipse on February 17th and the lunar eclipse on March 3rd. I'm going to have today's episode is going to be February astrology. So astrology for the whole month ahead. And also we have the 2026 workshop that I did that has month by month, blow by blow, what the big themes, transits are, how to work with it in a practical sense, what it means every transit for you and your sign, and also a PDF bonus that I put together that is all of the key dates, auspicious times of years, broken down into easy to understand, digestible terms for your sign. And you want to check that for your sun and your rising, okay? And if you want to be crazy, which you should be, the vision board workshop pairs really well with that. I've been getting such great feedback on that. I just posted a fun Instagram. It was so cool to see. I could have made an Instagram that was 20 minutes long of all the things that have been on vision boards that have come to life. And it's not just about slapping an image down. There's a lot more behind it than that. So I go into that in that workshop. So again, if you're like, I do want to have a little cosmic homework from my favorite Virgo, go check out any and all of those, or just you take time, to rest, integrate, to be quiet. I definitely want to do a digital detox during my time. And I just want to get into have my analog basket out, right? I want to journal. I want to paint. There's some projects around my home that are kind of creative projects that I want to make some art. And I also just want to pull cards and do all those things like that Pisces season, inner child play energy. And I just lost my train of thought. I got too excited thinking about the oracle cards. Oh, I'm going to be doing a decluttering too. So I'm just putting it out there in case anybody is interested. I will go into this in the eclipse podcast, but that 3/3, it's a Virgo full moon eclipse. It is the ultimate psychic energetic spring cleaning. So it really is a great time to make some space because end of March, we off. And right, this is not going to be a time to push harder. It's a space that asks us to get more clear so we can move with ease instead of stickiness or friction. All right. So all of that. And then stay tuned. Like I said, I am feeling a strong pull to do a very small, intimate eclipse coaching container. One of my things for the next year is I am feeling in 2026 more in-person things and some more small group. I love the group cohort energy. What is activated in those groups, the healing, the connections, the ahas, the clarity, the accountability, the hype. So just stay tuned. And I'm going to head into the planetary planning now. I'm going to skip the moon report. So this is a little bit more evergreen. But if you're interested in what Mama Moon is up to and you want to continue your lunar-led living, make sure you're subscribed to our Substack, right? Cosmic RX comes out every Monday, has that breakdown and just lots of helpful info there. Like I said, I'm not leaving you empty-handed. Never, honey. You think Virgo mom, my Cancer rising is going to leave my babies high and dry? Never. So I'm going to wrap up the last few days of January because they are intense and important and beautiful. And then we're going to get into February. So get the pen and paper out. So January 17th, Mars is conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto amplifies the power of everything, right? It touches, it reveals, it brings things to the surface, it reveals shadow. And Mars is the planet of war, of movement, of confrontation. So on the collective level, this feels really spicy. I don't know if something's going to come to head, any or all of the above. There's so many conflicts happening. It's crazy to say. I this could be, somewhere. This could be in Minnesota. This could be in Greenland. This could be in Iran. This could be all of the above, and things I don't even know about. But just on the collective level, let's be aware of that, and let's just stay safe. And on the personal level, this is going to be like what I would call being fueled by the sick of my own shit energy. What do I mean by this? So often in life, we think we are stuck. We are not stuck, actually. We are usually comfortable. Okay. I wrote a whole book about the sticky trappings of the comfort zone. There are times in life where we want more. We feel our soul calling to more, right? To move on from something unhealthy, to evolve, to take a big leap. It's not that we're stuck, it's that we're comfortable. And usually the thing that breaks us out of that is some kind of discomfort, especially fire energy. This is Mars, right? It can be extreme passion, of course, but that fire energy might be rage or anger. I know that gets me out of bed so many days. I'm tired and something happens on the news and I'm like, I'm back. This witch is angry. But also, most 9 times out of 10, the biggest changes I have made in my life is when I'm sick of my own shit. Like, I hate living like this. I hate being in this pattern again. I am tired of hearing myself complain about this or being in this loop. So fuck it. We ball. What else do I have to lose? It's time to break, right? Some curses, break some patterns. So I say this because January 27th, there's a lot of Aquarius energy in the sky right now, right? We have the sun in Aquarius, of course, Mars, Venus, Pluto. The Aquarian energy is intense. And with this Mars conjunct Pluto, it's like bringing something up to the surface for you that might be showing you some kind of shadow, personal or collective, that is like making you feel like enough is enough. Okay. And the pressure builds and you're going to let that fuel you. Okay. We want to let our anger be something, right, that fuels us. It's an arrow that drives us. It's not a place we live. Okay. So let this guide you. Let this guide your transformation. And of course, linking up with Aquarius energy archetypes is going to help, right? Joining groups, reaching out to friends, being a part of movements, going in shared spaces, innovating, thinking outside the box, right? Like thinking about concepts like liberation, progress, and just avoiding, I would say, during this time, power struggles. Okay. We want to think about problem solving when we're working with other people, not power struggles. Okay. And if you can't avoid that, or if you can't be in control of that, I would say to just avoid the drama as much as possible and be really conscious with our motives. So some ways to work with this, like I said, channeling anger into action, to avoid like projection of your shadow of getting easily triggered. Focus on shared goals instead of like personal glory wins. Move your body, sweat it out, shake it out. This is so big, right? Get it out safely. This is key 11 energy from my book, The Future is Ours. So we are showing up as a rebel with a cause. Key 11 is such a big key. There's practices in there to really guide us through all of this astrology I'm talking about, all of Aquarius season astrology. There's some really helpful insight in there if you're looking to understand how to work with this energy a little bit more harmoniously, beautifully, constructively, creatively. So January 29th, shout out to my mom, her heavenly birthday. January 29th, Mercury is conjunct Venus in Aquarius. This is going to be like a breath of fresh air. This is going to feel good. This is like, Mercury is communication. Venus is love, pleasure, creativity, values. And this is the feeling of, oh my God, my mind and my heart are syncing up. Conversations are getting clear. Creative ideas are becoming more actionable. There's like almost like a beauty to your words, a magnetism to your words. So this is a great day to have conversations you've been avoiding, collaborate on creative projects, put something out there. Again, leading with shared values instead of just focusing on being right, and really like putting out some kind of blessings, like a cosmic blessing with your communication. And that leads us into February 1st, the full moon in Leo. So this is your permission slip to celebrate, well, everything, but definitely you, my dear. I love a full moon in Leo. I always love the Leo Aquarius axis. It's so much about our radical, authentic self, right? And Aquarius is like, show up as your radical, authentic self. Let the freak flag fly so you could find your weirdos, so we could be in this together, so we could stop conforming, stop trying to be in some cookie cutter version of ourselves, so we can actually create some change and feel less alone and realize that actually the witchy weirdos are going to take over the world. We're not the crazy ones. Y'all have been the crazy ones who got us here to this point. That's where the sun is. And then the moon is in Leo. So this is your energy, the me energy, the heart energy, the like, what helps sustain me as we work towards this progressive change? What lights me up? How can I continue to hype myself up so I can be seen? Because there's no impact without visibility, okay? There's no change we're gonna make on the collective level if you were afraid of being seen. That's why the key 5 of my book, right? I need to be seen. I want to remind us all it's a core need to who we are. So on this full moon in Leo, you might do something where you're feeling something coming up from early August, coming full circle, thinking about where you were, what were you doing? Is there something coming to fruition now, right? Is there something coming into fullness? A seed you planted then is ready to be eaten up, right? Or released or fertilized, like recycle back to the earth, whatever that is. But check in, and this full moon might shine a spotlight on where you're ready to take up space. You might get some nudges, invitations. And I would love under a full moon, I love celebration energy. It's like full moons in general are a great time to gather, do something that feels joyful, feels creative, feels romantic, feels playful. So if you want to get together and do something that feels like a creative project with other people, or just celebrate, like, damn, what are all the things that we haven't said out loud that we're really proud of ourselves for from the last year? Being seen differently. Maybe everyone comes over and has like a nowhere to wear it but party, and wear your most fabulous like evening gown or like thrifted fringe sequin find or old wedding dress that you're like, I look so good in this. Like, I have nowhere to wear this. I don't know. That just came to me. I might have to do that. Right. So we want to take up space, and I want you to shine in that way. The full moon in Leo reminds us that it's not about taking the mic or taking the spotlight. It's like owning our inner light. So we are the spotlight. We just radiate that, and people can't help but feel more encouraged, more confident, more warm just in our presence. And it creates a really beautiful style of leadership. And I just want to say that we're going to be entering with the solar eclipse in Aquarius. We're going back into the astrology of 2017, which is when we had the North Node in Leo, the South Node in Aquarius. So not only can you look back on the past 6 months, but you could also look at what was going on in 2017. What did you learn about yourself? You standing up for yourself, your art, your creativity, your courage, your self-expression. We're now flipping that, right? We're going into the North Node in Aquarius. We're taking all of that we learned and now moving up. And what can we do to help shift the collective? And then, of course, Jupiter will move into Leo this summer. So we'll have an amplification of that. There's a lot in the stars right now that it's like the me and the we, the me and the we. Like, you can't really have collective revolution without personal evolution, because it's all the same thing, but we can't focus too much on just one side, right? So yeah, so do something playful, share your work, let yourself be seen. And then we go into February 3rd. Uranus is going to station direct in Taurus. Now, Uranus has been retrograde since September, stirring up surprises you might have experienced around money, stability, home, security, values. I feel like Taurus rules a lot of like geopolitical things. It explains a lot of the whiplash energy. It explains why things might feel like they've been shifting quickly. It might explain if you've been feeling like a really buzzy nervous system energy. Now, when this goes direct, this is the final stretch of Uranus and Taurus. This is a chapter we won't experience again in our lifetimes. This is our last Uranus direct in Taurus. So really, during this time, getting in your body, getting connected to your values, unplugging if you can, doing things that are embodied activities, cooking, crafting, walking, grounding, unplugging when you can, looking back to what is the cycle of revolution that changed for you since 2018. Maybe it was in your house of friendships and you just found much quirkier, more aligned, eccentric friends. Maybe it was in your second house and you completely changed how you make money, how you relate to money. Maybe it was in your seventh house and you went through partnership, relationship changes, mixes up. Just reflect and digest what was happening there. And then on February 13th, Saturn enters Aries. And this is big. We were in Saturn in Aries already. And so we got a little sneak peek of that, of course, right? But this is now in for the long haul. So if you are a Saturn in Aries baby, welcome to your official in it Saturn return. As a reminder, it was in Saturn in 2025 from May 24th to September 1st. So if you want to look back on May 24th to September 1st of what was going on, I encourage you to do that because you're going to get a hit right now of what's coming next. Now we know Saturn is discipline, responsibility, mastery. Aries is courage, initiation, bold beginnings. So when these two come together, we're really going through an initiation into a mature leadership, to a more embodied leadership, to a sense of being like, okay, I've been doing this work, probably of understanding more about my authentic self, who I am, stripping away a lot of labels that I've outgrown, probably since 2021, 2022. Now it's let's put in the work. Let's go out there. Let's not just talk about it. Let's be about it. And you're going to feel the push. You're going to feel the pull. And Saturn wants to know, can you back this up? Can you really be who you want to be, who you say you want to be? And it also can help us with that follow through, because sometimes Aries likes to initiate and Saturn is here to help us in that follow through with everything. It's also going to help us pace our passion. Sometimes when we are lit up about something, it can almost consume us. And like anything, might feel uncomfortable at first. Saturn is funny in Aries because Aries is such a little rebel. Aries wants punk rock, and Saturn is structure, and it moves more slowly. But there's always something to teach us. And the great thing about that is Saturn and Aries, what we build, what we initiate for the next 2 years has some serious staying power, So I encourage you to just trust what comes up, trust where you need to be, put your money where your mouth is with some of these bigger visions you have, committing to what matters, standing up for yourself. It's this warrior energy. And I'm going to use this, as we go into February 20th, talking about Saturn and Neptune and Aries. I'm going to give you a sneak peek, or I'm going to tell you what that download was that I had at Kripalu, because it kind of shook my brain up in some really cool ways. So right after that happens, February is really nonstop. That's why I'm everyone take care of your nervous systems. February 17th is the year of the fire horse begins. It's a new moon. Fun fact, maybe you didn't know, the Lunar New Year is, when we talk about Year of the Fire Horse, that's from the lunar calendar. And in Chinese astrology, the lunar year starts on the second new moon after the winter solstice. And there's a correlation of the animal that we're in to where Jupiter is in the zodiac. And when we're in this year of the fire horse, it's a lot of the things that I was reading about the last time it was there was 1966. It just makes a lot of sense, right? And what we're feeling, a cultural shift, revolution, protests, art, we're going to be feeling that a lot right now. I am cracking up because I'm trying to find it. I saw on some website, they said that there's a Japanese saying that women born under the year of the fire horse, send their husbands to an early grave. And I don't, but I was laughing because I think it's more of a metaphor, because they're saying how headstrong they are and how unstoppable they are. And I was I love that for all of us. And I'm using the husband to more equate to, again, patriarchal systems of control. And I love that the year of the fire horse, we're going to give them hell. We're going to give them hell this year. And it's going to feel damn good. And this whole year, right, the fact that this is happening on this new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius that is activating all the Pluto and Aquarius energy, but it's getting us ready. It's getting us ready for takeoff, kind of, for the nodes to switch in Aquarius in the summer. So this is it. This is the reset, right? The fire horse is saying run free. And again, it's individuality within community. It's breaking from the herd while joining the pack, right? It's alignment. It's burning bridges, but it's to light the way. It's letting unconventional ideas lead. And it's really about becoming untethered, unbridled, not feeling that baggage, so we can really go, go, go. So the seeds you plant now are going to carry through February 2027, okay? The things you do. So I do invite you to set intentions around innovations, around freedom, just envisioning, holding that space as always. We're not actively manifesting it as an eclipse, but doing something around this time to embody that energy is going to feel really good, right? Maybe you're even having your own cosmic zone moment. I will get more into the eclipse in my special eclipse podcast, but I just want you to have that on the calendar. Then we go into February 26th, Mercury enters retrograde in Pisces. So that is watery. That is super Mercury retrograde already makes things blurry and kind of foggy and soggy. And then it's in Pisces. So we want to slow down. We want to make sure we don't have water near our technology. We want to trust our intuition. We want to double, triple check our communications, be really clear, double check details, ask clarifying questions. And we're really going to be reflecting on the past 4 months, right? Closing out projects, returning to conversations. I am going to try and use this time, why I also am taking a break, is to catch up with my communications. Being a mom of 2 young kids and everything, book and the business, and I sometimes am like, oh my God, my inboxes are zoos. So I'm using this time to catch up on things in addition to being in that creative space, right? I want everyone to do something to work with your intuition during this time. Breath work, journaling. Colleen Kelly is a member of our community and she does amazing breath work sessions that she just came to mind. It's a great time just to rest, to get more sleep if you can, to trust your intuition, but also fact check certain things. It's also a great time to pay attention to, I always say, the message in the mess, or the downloads that might be happening from unexpected things. I always think about Mercury retrograde. This is for my millennial Gen Xers and baby boomers. I don't know if Gen Z knows what a cassette tape is, but hopefully you do. But when we were little, we used to play cassette tapes backwards, right? And we'd be like, there's a subliminal message there. When you play it backwards, I always feel that way with Mercury retrograde. We're playing the tape backwards and we're and getting some insight. So in Pisces, that's going to be even more so. And it's going to ask you to trust. It's eclipse season. There's going to be reroutes. There's going to be rejections, but they are your protection, right? The blocks are going to be the blessings. Please, 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 please trust that. It's always hard for me to do it in the moment, but God damn it, it's true every time. And yes, so as we go through all of that, one of the major moments, again, I talk about this and I go into more depth in my workshop, but in February, we're going to have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, right? So I just talked about that Saturn is joining, on February 13th is going into Aries and Neptune has already been there. And this marks the beginning of a new millennia, not a new millennia, a new paradigm shift. This hasn't happened in many millennia, hasn't happened in 3,000 years, to have Saturn conjunct Neptune in 0 degrees Aries. Saturn has conjoined Neptune in Capricorn. That's actually when the Berlin Wall fell. And I want to say that I know these times are really intense, but a lot of this astrology, it all points to really collective change that we need. We need to remember our individual power. I've been saying this for years. And I think that, Saturn and Neptune going to Aries, we're really going to feel our swim down moment, our finding Nemo. We all can join together. We all can swim down and create some big shift. And the download I had at Kripalu, I've been looking into this astrology for a while, and I always want to be honest and I want to sugarcoat, but I never want to fearmonger or do clickbaity stuff. And astrology tells us the rhythms and the rhymes. We don't understand how all the scenes are going to play out, of course. And for a while, I was kind of oh, is this Saturn and Neptune going to bring more militarization, violence, and are we going to go under martial law? It's obviously going to be very affected to ICE and certain things geopolitically. And yes, it is all that. Don't get me wrong. But I had this download, this vision at Kripalu. It was so clear. It was clear as day. And essentially, it was actually, the Saturn and Neptune and Aries of it is us entering our primal warrior energy. And even the people who have been pretty asleep or not tuned into it are going to have some waking up, and people in power, the people who oppress and divide and extract and manipulate and take advantage of, are already feeling they're scared, and they're going to continue to get more scared. And the download that came with that was, I thought about it when the SNAP benefits got turned off in November. People showed up for each other, right? And then when I got the first part of this download, I hadn't really been paying attention to the news. I was in Kripalu, and then I got this vision, and I didn't really know what it meant. And then when I came back on Monday and I was reading more with the news, the vision was they're underestimating how much we care about each other. They're underestimating the human spirit. I'm going to cry. It was they're underestimating the unbridled strength of human care and empathy, because they don't have any. Because if they were in that situation, whether it's
an ICE agent knocking at your doors without papers to take someone, they would let that person in. They would cover their own ass. They have covered their own ass. They've sold out the American people, right? These corporations, the technocrats, the oligarchs, the freaking bro flakes joining ICE, the people in politics, right, not sticking up for us. It's like that's what they would do. So they counted on us doing that. They counted on all the propaganda and the fear mongering and the like, just mind your business, protect your own. And I just actually don't think that's who we are. Some people are, but I think this country is filled with the spirit of a lot of people who came here and fought tooth and nail to have a better life. I'm crying again, for themselves and their families. That lives in us. Like there's something ancestral. We might have all gotten very used to creatures of comfort and convenience, and we've become maybe more isolated, some of us, and not connected. But deep within each of us, like as humanity, but people who also came here, and I'm seeing it across the globe beyond the United States, like the women in Iran dancing and in the streets and, protesting so courageously, the people like standing up to all, I can't even get into it, all across the globe, right? These uprisings happening. I was like, I don't think people in power would anticipate that, especially the level of sticking your neck out for someone that's not you, right? And that is our biggest fucking secret weapon, is that we care. And that is why I say the bad bitches with the good hearts will take over, right? The heart-centered ones will take over because we have something they will never have, right? We value the power of life and love over the love of power, right? So leaving you with that. And then also like, honey, don't forget you're a bad bitch with a good heart. And this is the year of the sacred party, girl. And I'm going to be talking about that a lot more in the podcast. I want you out there shaking that ass. I need you whimsical. I need you out of your comfort zone. I need you dressing up, feeling good, having new experiences, letting shit get messy, right? Like we want to move out of any kind of self-isolation we've been in since 2020. I want you to shake the dust off of that this year. And I want you to remember, holy fucking shit, I'm alive. I have one life in this body and I want to just squeeze the juice out of it. Okay. And if you're tender, you're tired, I said we're resting right now. Okay. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, that just means you're alive. Okay. So we're resting when we need to. We're recuperating, but we're never stopping. And definitely not this year. You're the fire horse. We are off, unbridled spirit, untethered, yeehaw, giddy up, galloping down. And I really, really, really want you to think about, as you move through these next few months or few weeks, what does it feel like to move with alignment, with trust, over urgency, right? Over pressure. How can I be guided, by pleasure instead of pressure? And I talked about Uranus stationing direction Taurus. And I think that is one of the things that I hope a lot of us have learned since 2018 is that, again, like a revolutionary act is to be guided through pleasure and to trust your power in that and to trust your yeses and to allow yourself and your body to feel good, right? So I'll be back before you know it, brighter, bolder, even more of a badder bitch, ready to ride at dusk, right at dawn with you into Aries season. And as always, you know what I'm doing. I am sending you those prayers for the biggest, fattest, most wild and holy of juiciest checks and that hot, fulfilling, snuggly, buggly, but also sweaty, toe curling sex. I love you. Stay soft, stay brave, stay in your cosmic zone, stay in your magic. Mwah. Do you love getting your Cosmic RX for the week here and want more? Make sure to sign up for our premium subscription so you can get exclusive access to bonus podcast episodes, all of my astrology info for the month ahead, and live new and full moon calls to help you manifest your dream life with an intentional international community of other cosmic baddies. Sign up through our link in show notes.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you want to know more about Cosmic RX, head on over to thecosmicrx.com. And if you really love this show, I'd love it if you left a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. I super love hearing from you and reading your reviews. All right, you cosmic baddie, tune in next week. And until then, remember, love yourself fully, work your magic, and take no shit.